Hello guys, coming to you from my beautiful garage. So today we're going to be talking about pendulums. Okay, now just like other objects had potential and kinetic energy, so do pendulums. They have potential energy, like when you move them up, okay, there's potential for it to go down, right? And gravity is what's going to make it do the pendulum motion. Now, it has kinetic energy as well. Remember, kinetic means moving energy. So as soon as I let go of it and it starts to move, it's gaining kinetic energy, right? And then it reaches a certain point at which it has maximum kinetic energy, and then it's still moving, so it still has kinetic energy, and it comes to a stop a point where it stops, and it has its maximum potential energy, right? So what we're going to talk about real quick is we're going to talk about when does it have maximum potential energy, when does it have minimum potential energy, when does it have maximum kinetic and minimum kinetic, and just talk about the traits of each one of those. Once we finish talking about all of those, you should be able to get all the answers from the worksheet, okay? So let's just start off with potential energy. So it has maximum potential energy, obviously, when it's at its highest point. Yeah, this is going to be its, and even remember the formula. We're going to do the formula for the next worksheet here, and we're just going to do potential energy on the next worksheet. The formula for potential energy is mass times gravity times height. Okay, well the mass is the wrench in this case. Gravity is 9.8, and then our height is how high above it changes from where it is now to where it is over here, which is a height difference of about that much, yeah? So I'm going to show you how to find that height in the next video. All we're going to talk about right now is when does it have maximum potential energy and kinetic. So right now, at the highest height is when you have maximum potential energy, yeah? Now when it's falling down, the height is decreasing, so you are losing potential energy. You still have potential energy, but you're losing it. Yeah, it's getting smaller, the number's getting smaller. And then once you reach its equilibrium position, the point at which it's at the lowest, the height now, that is where the height was 0. So now there is no height. So the potential energy is 0. So that's when you have the least potential energy, yeah? So maximum potential energy, minimum potential energy. And you do have another place where you have another maximum potential energy because it keeps going and it's gaining potential energy as it goes up, right? Because the height is increasing, it's getting taller, and it reaches a point at which it stops. When it stops, it has maximum height, and that would be the point at which it has maximum potential energy, okay? So maximum potential energy, getting smaller, 0 potential energy. Now the potential energy is gaining, and it has maximum potential energy again, right? And then it comes back, 0 potential energy, maximum potential energy. Now you do lose some potential energy as it swings, right? Just like when you drop a ball. It bounces, it never bounces back up to where it was. It can never gain its original potential energy. Same thing with a pendulum. So, there's a simple experiment people do to prove that, is they put like their face where the pendulum is, yeah, and then they let go, and it should not be able to go higher than it originally was. So you should be safe if you let go of it, right? So it's kind of a famous one that they do. So I can do it real quick here. Let's see. Hope I didn't move. Yeah? So it'll never get back to its original height. So you don't have to actually worry about it. Okay, so now you should get the potential energies, yeah? Okay, now let's get kinetic energy. Okay, kinetic energy is moving energy. So obviously when you have maximum potential energy, it's not moving at its highest point right here. Like when you let go of it, it's not moving over there, it's not moving here. So that's right there is where you would have no kinetic energy because it's not moving, yeah? So no kinetic energy. Then it's gaining kinetic energy as it drops because it's gaining velocity, and then it reaches its equilibrium position. And that's where you have maximum kinetic energy. That's where the wrench is moving the fastest, yeah? So the maximum velocity occurs right here, and that's where the maximum kinetic energy would occur. And then it's slowing down as it goes up, so it's losing kinetic energy, and then it reaches here, and it has zero kinetic energy again. Yeah? So zero kinetic energy, gaining kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy, and it goes up, and it's losing, it's gaining kinetic energy there, and then it stops there. It has zero kinetic energy, okay? I meant losing kinetic energy, going that second part there, until it reaches zero. Okay, so that's pretty much everything you need to know. A question I do ask, so now you know potential energy. The only thing you need to know is, when does it have maximum acceleration, okay? Now you're going to have maximum acceleration when you're at maximum potential energy, and let me explain why, okay? The reason is, now let's think about it right here. When it sits there, is it accelerating? No, right? It's just sitting there. Because what accelerates the pendulum? Gravity. Gravity accelerates the pendulum. When it's sitting here, gravity can't act on it. So it just sits there. There is no acceleration acting on the wrench, yeah? But when you pull it up here, there is acceleration. But there's not full-on gravity of 9.8. The only way you would have full-on gravity of 9.8 is if you put the pendulum at a 90-degree angle to the post that it's with, and then it could fall right there at that point with full-on 9.8 acceleration of gravity. As it turns, the angle at which the pendulum string is taking away from the 9.8 acceleration of gravity. So it's getting smaller and smaller until you reach here where your acceleration is zero. Okay? So you have, the further up it goes, the more acceleration will act on the wrench. And then as it falls, the acceleration is dropping because gravity just can't act on it as much as it normally does, because the string is taking away its ability to do that. And then it falls all the way to equilibrium where it has zero acceleration. And then it starts going back up, and at this point it's decelerating, right? Because it had velocity, right? It had velocity, so it's accelerating down, and then on its way up, it's decelerating, right? And that's pretty much all the info you need. So remember that maximum acceleration is where you have maximum potential energy. So same thing over here. You have maximum acceleration when it's at its highest point over here as well, because it's going from a velocity of zero, and it's going to start moving, right? So it has to have acceleration. And then you have zero or minimum acceleration when it's at equilibrium point. Okay, that's everything you need to know for 7.3, understanding pendulum energy. I hope your break, or your pandemic break, is going all right, and I hope you're learning something. Watch the juggling video. Maybe you can learn how to juggle and get some extra credit while doing it. See ya.